So in the next couple of years in Green Bay, there's going to be lots of massive decisions that have to be made by GM Brian Gutekunst. And one of these decisions is probably going to come in the next couple of months when it comes to the future of quarterback for Green Bay. And I already made an entire video earlier today breaking down Brian Gutekunst's press conference and his thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and that entire situation. But I want to give my take on, if I was the decision maker, what I would do in regards to the Packers and their future plan when it comes to specifically quarterback. So right now, we already know, as we've discussed all week, as the Packers have been eliminated from playoff contention, which is sad as other teams prepare for this, wild card weekend. We're sitting here talking about the offseason already. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And Aaron Rodgers is going to go back, take some time, decide if he wants to return or if he wants to hang it up and retire after his long career here in the NFL. And with that decision coming in the next month or 2 months, at least before March, whatever it is, when the new league year starts, Aaron Rodgers will make his decision. He said he doesn't want to hold the Packers hostage so they can sort of move on if he decides to retire. But I think if Rodgers retires, you easily just move on to Jordan Love. He's been here for so long. He's learned under Aaron Rodgers. He's taken huge steps forward, and I think he has a really bright future, to be completely honest. That's my take on the situation. But if Rodgers does decide he wants to play again, that's where things get a little bit more interesting, because it's easy if he retires in the sense of what's the future going to look like. Give Jordan Love a year, see what he does. If he looks, solid, even average, I say you keep playing him. It takes quarterbacks time to develop in the league, and we need to give him a full year at least to sort of see what he does as a starter consistently. So that's sort of the easy way if Rodgers retires. But if Rodgers decides he wants to come back and play once again in 2023, that's where things get interesting, just because Jordan Love just finished the third year of his rookie contract, which means he only has one more year at this time on his rookie contract. The Packers will have to decide, do they want to exercise that fifth-year option before, I think, the beginning of May is the deadline. If they do exercise that option, he'll make around $20-ish million in 2024, and all that, I believe, will be guaranteed. I'm pretty sure that's what happens with the fifth-year option. But in that scenario, if they did exercise the option, it would be, I think, tough to probably pay both Rodgers and Love, even though if Rodgers retires after this year, there's still going to be a huge dead cap hit, even if the Packers do give Love the fifth-year option. But here's my take. If Rodgers says he wants to come back, Brian Gutekunst and Aaron Rodgers get together, and I say, you tell Aaron, all right, Aaron, year after year you're having to make this decision, which is fine. He's older in his career. He has to decide if he wants to come back, and I think, given the amount of years he's given Green Bay, the amount of success he's brought to Green Bay, and just the play that the elite level he's played at, I think you give someone more room to make this kind of decision, because it really does change the entire face of your franchise depending on Rodgers' decision. Of course, a young player isn't going to get as much time as Aaron Rodgers is, but that's just sort of is what it is. He's earned that right as a veteran future Hall of Famer. And so I think when Aaron Rodgers, if he decides to come back, Brian Gutekunst and Aaron Rodgers get together and discuss it. And Aaron has to know that if he decides to play another year, things get a little more complicated with Jordan Love, because if you're Jordan Love, at some point you want to actually play football. You don't just want to have to be a backup for your entire career. And I think that if Rodgers were to play one more year, if Love doesn't get the start the next year, I don't see how he stays around in Green Bay. And so I think that maybe Aaron Rodgers and Brian Gutekunst can come to some kind of understanding that maybe 2023 is Aaron Rodgers' last year. And then at that point, with that sort of being discussed, then you exercise Jordan Love's fifth-year option. So then Jordan Love sort of knows, okay, Rodgers is probably going to play one more year, and then it'll be my turn to come in here and start in Green Bay. Because when you look at Jordan Love, I would just hate to see him get traded to a different team. The reasoning being that he's been here in Green Bay for 3 entire seasons. He's learned under Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer. So not only does he still have the athleticism, talent, physical abilities that he had when he got drafted, but he has 3 years learning from the most talented quarterback of all time. So if you trade him away, you're trading away all that knowledge, all the things he's learned behind Aaron Rodgers. And I think it would be a mistake for the Packers to trade Jordan Love. And I think if you're Brian Gutekunst as well, you traded up for him. Many people saw it as a questionable decision. Some thought, okay, we should have picked up a wide receiver. But I don't see Brian Gutekunst trading away Jordan Love. I just don't think it's going to happen, and I do think Jordan Love is going to be the starter sometime soon. And so my take, if Rodgers wants to play, say, okay, Rodgers, we're going to give you one more year here in Green Bay, and then exercise Love's fifth-year option, and then move on to Jordan Love in 2024. That way, Rodgers has one more year here in Green Bay. I think with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Samori Toure on the offensive side of the ball, there could be some big steps there with all those guys having an entire year under their belt, building chemistry with Rodgers. The offense could be much better. And then you have lots of young players on defense as well in Devontae Wyatt, Quay Walker. And then I think that you can maybe run it back one more year in 2023. And then after that, if you don't win a Super Bowl, unfortunate. But then I say you move to Jordan Love because of the investment you've made in him, all the time he's had in this system with Matt LaFleur, with Aaron Rodgers. I think that would be my go-to decision if I had to make the decision for the Packers, what I think the Packers should do going forward. So that way they're set up for the future. They don't have to lose Jordan Love because it seems like Rodgers will probably retire in the next couple of years. It just seems likely because in the past he's mentioned that he doesn't want to play to 45 like Brady. He's now, 39 years old, getting close to 40. And so I just don't see how he plays, I feel like one more year would be the max. Maybe if he went somewhere else or got traded, that could change if things started going well. Who knows? But I think if he comes back to Green Bay, I feel like there's just one more year left, and then I think we should move to Jordan Love. But that is my take on the situation. Feel free to comment yours in the comment section down below. But that's all I have for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.